hoping for. Where's that picture of wonderful old me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, what's up, everybody? You're watching another episode of Live with Wolfman. I'm your host, Jacob Wolfman, and this is a show about all the things that I'm interested in, all the things you're interested in. This is episode number 30. 30. Seriously. We've done 29 hours of footage so far, talking about everything that we like to talk about. We talk about all the things about martial arts, and sometimes we talk about video and photos and stuff, and we just have fun with it. I think this show is proven that it's needed. Like, let's be real. I think there is a need for this show to exist, and I am happy to fill that need. I'm happy to talk about this kind of stuff because it's the stuff you guys want to hear about, and you want to, like, it's your passion. So let's talk more. Today we are featuring the greatest tournament that you've ever heard of. Today we are talking about the International Tournament of Tournaments World Championship of Martial Arts. This is a 50A Triple Crown Gold Platinum Elite Star internationally top-rated event. Yeah, it's happening. We're on day 2 of this tournament. We had an episode a couple of weeks ago with Daulton, and then we had to put the tournament on pause because our co-host Daulton had to go on an epic week-long adventure, which we'll be asking him about in just a minute. But before the show actually begins, I have to start off and just get something off my chest. There's absolutely nothing to do with the show, but it just irritated me just a little bit. So last weekend, it was Halloween weekend, so night everybody went out and did their thing, and there was one costume that I just I don't get it, okay? Bacon. Why do you dress up as bacon for Halloween? I get it to be, like, ironic, and if you're, like, the one piece of bacon of the night, okay, that's a little funny, I guess, but I saw 4 pieces of bacon. What? Why? What's going on? Okay, first I saw a guy that was, like, in a bacon suit that he bought off, at Walmart or something. And I'm like, that's the best you can do? Okay, you're bacon. Good. Cool. Bacon tastes good. Okay. And then I went out and I saw another dude dressed in the same thing. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's just a Walmart thing. Great, you're another piece of bacon. Then I saw a girl who was a fried egg with a side of bacon, and that was her costume. And I'm like, what is with this bacon? And then finally, I saw somebody walking around with a piece of cardboard shaped as bacon. That was their costume. Literally. There's just cardboard painted as bacon. And I'm like, what? Am I missing something about Halloween? Has it become, like, Bacon Day or something? I don't know. I don't get it. Come on. Step your game up. Like, you might as well just not dress up. Why don't you go be a piece of cardboard or something? Well, that would be fun. How about you could be a Band-Aid, or you could be this little stapler. Wouldn't that be great? You wait all year and then you just dress up as the first thing that you see. Okay, Wolfman rant over. Had to get that out of my system. It's bothering me for a while. I don't know. All right, afternoon, everybody. What's up, Jerry? What's up, Jeff? What's up, Richard? Making bacon pancakes. I love it. You can eat bacon. That's cool. Just why you got to dress up as bacon? There's got to be something a little bit better out there. All right, without further ado, I'm going to bring in my guests for today. Everybody, please give me all the floating thumbs ups that you got for Daulton. What? Daulton,
what's up?
How are you? You are live. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. A lot better than I did a week ago.
Yeah, so you got a fun story to share, huh?
I have a story. I can't tell the fun level of it, but I can tell the story.
Yeah.
Last Sunday I was coming home and I flipped my car over a guardrail. It was an SUV that turned into a compact little mini eco-friendly thing, I guess you can call it. I don't know. But I was in the hospital since Sunday afternoon, and I got out Friday night. It was a lot of not surgery, but it was like tests and checking to make sure I was all right. And then finally, Thursday they're like, you're walking, everything's fine. Tomorrow you should be able to go home. I went home. Friday night I rested up. I got better by the hour. I just felt overall, almost back to normal. And I think, if I just keep going at my pace, I'll be fine. Got to get back to practice in maybe a couple weeks. See how that goes.
Yeah. Is it okay if I share the image of your car so people can see what we're talking about here?
You can?
All right. So this is Daulton shared this image with me. This is his car. How many times did this car roll?
Well, it went once over the guardrail and it kept going. I have no idea how many times. I remember getting out of the car before it continued to roll on down the hill.
Yeah, you were saying you were ejected from the vehicle as it rolled?
I ejected myself. Well, at least I believe. I don't really remember much.
That's insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, the fact that you're here and, like, we don't even really see a scratch on you, like, at least from this angle.
Yeah.
It's kind of a miracle that you're okay.
Yeah, I got lucky. Well, very minimal bruising and lacerations. I think I'm back. I got to make sure the Wolfman show is top notch. We have to finish this tournament, though.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I have to get better. We have to finish this tournament.
That's right.
Of martial arts tournaments of martial arts.
Thank you, Daulton. I mean, you do have your priorities straight. Today is all about the International Tournament of Tournament World Championship of Martial Arts, a 50A Triple Crown Gold Platinum Elite Star internationally top-rated event. With Daulton.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine as I choke to death over here.
You got to be careful, man.
I got to be careful. Water's dangerous, people.
Yeah. But I'm happy to hear that you spent a week in the hospital to recover for this moment today to continue this truly historical, epic tournament of tournaments. You got a lot of love going on in the comments, a lot of glad you're okays and a lot of wows.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So,
I'm truly happy that I have everyone. I mean, people that might not have even met me in person before are sending me messages that they hope I'm all right, and I appreciate everyone sending love.
Yeah, man.
You're hurt.
Yeah. So everybody keeps sending the love to Daulton. I'm glad you're okay. But are you ready for the show, man?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's get right into it. Okay. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is the bracket. This is where we last left off. Right now, we are in a heated battle between the Music City SmackDown and the Battle of Badger State. So, Daulton, have you been to either of these tournaments?
I haven't been to either of them, but I can tell just by all of what I've seen that the Music City SmackDown this year was amazing. There was a lot of divisions, a lot of people competing. Most of them you've seen them on, NASCAR, NBL. They were just killing it down. Music City SmackDown. I saw Alex Scott on the live stream. I saw him killing it. I saw, the Avery Presley. I saw a bunch of people. People that I've competed with in the past. I think, it looked like they ran it well. I talked to some people at the tournament. They said they liked it. So I mean, obviously it's a top tier competition ran by top tier competitors.
Yeah, I have been to Battle of the Badger State. I have not been to Music City SmackDown, but I've seen the video because that tournament just happened a couple weeks ago. I think Battle of the Badger State is coming up. I think it might be this weekend. Is that right? Luke is actually the tournament promoter is in the chat right now. So go ahead and give a shout out to when your tournament is, Luke. So I'll talk a little bit about what I know.
It's this Sunday.
There you go. What I know about Music City SmackDown is only what I've seen and what I've heard. I've seen videos and like the layout looks beautiful. It's a very aesthetic, good-looking tournament. All the rings are matted, even though it's in like a high school gym. So it's small. It's it's on the smaller side, but the competition level is there because I know that they're buddies with Infinity. So Infinity guys come down, and then I know that there's competition scene is pretty strong there. It's run by the Presleys and Jason Warren, and they live tournaments. That's all they do. So they know exactly what they want out of a tournament. So I can only assume they did a great job running it. I saw some video clips that they had a camp going on before the tournament started, similar to how some of the big national events happen. So that was cool. Overall, looks like a good experience.
We have the Battle of the Badger State November 5th, I believe. Yeah, Luke is saying this Sunday, November 5th.
Boom, there's the website, battleofthebadgerstate.com, everybody. So let's talk about Battle of the Badger State. You know what? Thank you, Luke, for dropping your website. I'll just read a little bit about your tournament here. Did I get that right? Battleofthebadgerstate.com. I forgot the battleofthebadgerstate.com. Okay, so I've been here. It's been a couple years since I've been to this tournament, but one thing I like is that, again, it's a cool venue at a sports rec center. It's got matted rings, and the winners of the black belt divisions, at least, and Luke, you can correct me here or give me more information, but they win swords, which I think is pretty sweet. That's a pretty cool prize. Anytime you can give away, something special that besides just the regular plastic trophies, I think that's awesome. So cool. And plus they got a cool logo. I'm a little biased towards the Infinigreen Badger. That's pretty sweet. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. You guys got to leave a vote. Tell me, do you want to go to the Battle of Badger State, happening this Sunday, by the way? Feel free to check it out. And if you're in the area within 200 miles of Madison, Wisconsin, then come on out to Battle of Badger State this weekend. Or Music City Smackdown, which I believe is in Tennessee. While those votes are being calculated, Daulton, let's move on and let's talk about the next lineup here. We have the Ozark Mountain Nationals versus the Flame Martial Arts Tournament. Daulton, have you been to either of these?
No, I have not been to either of these. And the only thing I could say about the Ozark Mountain Nationals is, I can't really say a lot about either tournament. I don't want to give false information. But I do know that Richard Osborne can help run a tournament, so I'm sure his tournament is just as top-notch as he is.
All right, that's a good way to put it.
That's the only way I could put it.
So I also have not been to either of these tournaments. I've never heard of Flame Martial Arts Tournament, so unfortunately I got nothing I can say about it. Daulton, I don't know if you can do some quick homework.
I'm gonna quick do some research on it.
I'm gonna pull up. Let's see if I can find it. Here's a video. So I'm gonna.
It looks like it was in a gymnasium. We got.
Oh, unfortunately, so I'm trying to play. I'm having a YouTube problem today. My YouTube is not loading. I can't play any videos. But Ozark Mountain Nationals has a cool highlight reel, and I know they do a great job.
Oh, I know.
There's a lot of passion about that tournament. So, and I know that people are in this chat always talking it up. I believe Richard Osborne is a guest on this, or a viewer of this show. So,
he always follows.
Yeah,
yes.
he's always tuning in. So, got to give love to him. But you know what? If you guys know anything about the Flame Martial Arts Tournament and you think that's a great tournament, feel free, leave a comment, talk about it. But just drop in those votes. So while those votes are being calculated, let's rewind and go back a scene to the Music City Smackdown versus the Battle of the Badger State. Let me see what's going on here as far as votes. Okay. Wow, you guys get how this works. Kaylee says I need to go to SmackDown. So we got a SmackDown. We got a Badger. Ooh. We got. Oh boy. I'm just calculating it on the fly with my fingers here. Oh. All right. So according to my finger calculations, I saw 3 people vote for SmackDown. I saw 4 people vote for Battle of the Badger State. That means Battle of the Badger State is moving on to the next round. Big upset. Oh my.
That was an upset.
It was an upset. I'm happy to move them up a rank. All right.
All right.
So
I did some research on this Flame Open Martial Arts Tournament.
yeah.
It seems to me that people say that it's in a gym, that the gym is small, but a lot of 5-star reviews that it was, a great tournament. People have competed at it. I honestly, it's in Spokane, Washington,
Cool.
so it's a little bit far away from a lot of the East Coast competitors. But, who knows? Maybe we might get another upset.
Well, you know what though? Just because, unfortunately, Daulton, you're not the center of the world. There are competitors over on the West Coast, so. But Spokane, from what I hear, is beautiful. And you know what? I gotta give some love to the West Coast competitors because you got to cover that mountain range, the Rocky Mountains, and it's tough to get to all these other tournaments. So there is a divide out there. There's a lot. I mean, seriously, there's a lot. There's a big martial arts scene on the West Coast, and they are definitely a little bit isolated from the East Coast scene, particularly in the NASCA scene and stuff, just the way the tournaments lay out. But I mean, if you just count, you go through like Yelp or something, and you count the number of martial arts schools, there's a ton of them. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're the closest states to Asia, so they just naturally got more people introduced to the martial arts scene out there. Plus, it's nice. All right, but anyhow, so it's a nice tournament. It happens in Washington. When does it happen, Daulton?
It happens. Let me pull it up on Facebook here. They don't have the date on here, which is kind of odd.
That's probably because it already happened this year. They probably haven't announced it for next year.
Yeah, they've already announced it the next year. It was August 5th. It was August 5th of this year.
Okay, so yeah, it probably will announce it in 6 months or something. All right, so I've just done the calculations for Ozark Mountain Nationals versus the Flame Martial Arts Tournament, and without a doubt, Ozark Mountain Nationals takes the win, moves on to the next round. Awesome. So let's talk about the Diamond Nationals versus the Zhenzhou Shaolin Wushu Festival. I'm sure I butchered that name. Daulton, have you been to either of these tournaments?
I've been to Diamond Nationals for the past 3 years. Yes, 3 years. This was my third year. This was my first year as black belt. It was really fun. I think it is definitely a must if you are a NASCA competitor or want to be a NASCA competitor. Even if you're not a NASCA competitor, it's definitely a tournament to go to. I've seen some NBL, I've seen ATA, I've seen a lot. This is probably the tournament that unites most of the circuits together because it's just that big of a tournament. But with a big tournament, they do run it well. They have a lot of rings, they have a lot of officials, they have the stage. The night show was amazing as always. They have good lighting. The Hall of Fame. Caitlin Deschelle was there. Caitlin Deschelle, Wonder Woman, all those movies. Caitlin's awesome. It's a well-run tournament. They're always on time. They have a strict schedule. Being an official this year and judging some, you had to be there for that division at that time. And that's how it's always been. I think if the Diamonds don't win, it's going to be a shame.
So I have never heard of the the Z Shaolin Wushu Festival. I've never heard of the Wushu Festival myself. I don't practice Wushu, so but it got voted in here. It is definitely the lower seed. I think everybody is familiar here with the Diamond Nationals. Personally, growing up, that was the Super Bowl for me. That was going to Diamonds was more exciting than Christmas morning for me. Fun fact, in high school, it always landed the same weekend as homecoming, and so I never experienced homecoming in high school because I always wanted to go to Diamonds, and I don't regret it for a second. Definitely a great event for everybody in the Midwest. Nationally, it's a great tournament as well. So yeah, I definitely see Diamond Nationals going to be a top contender, but it's not up to me. It's up to you guys, and you guys already know the drill at this point in the show, and you wanted to, you guys already started voting. So I'll give you a couple more seconds to see if there's any other say in here. But I think it's safe to say we can just go ahead and say that Diamond Nationals wins this round in a shutout.
Oh yeah,
So
I see diamonds across the board. I
diamonds
haven't
are
seen one Zheng
forever.
Zhao.
And you know what? I'm sure the Wushu Festival, it could be a great event as well. And
Oh, definitely.
I've had Philip Sahagan on the show. He was my second guest ever. Dalton, I don't know if you saw that episode, but he's like a kung fu expert. Lives and breathes kung fu. Been to China, trained with the head of the Shaolin monks, and so he was just telling me about the scene out there. And he competed at a tournament that had 5,000 competitors. Or you know what? I'm mistaken. I'm sorry. I did not mean to say that. He went to a tournament and competed. He was at a tournament that had 10,000 competitors. I mean, absolutely crazy. Like they have schools out there that have 35,000 competitors. So Wushu's a big deal. Again, it's just like we don't live in Wushu world, you and I, so we don't see it. But that could very well be the greatest tournament on this bracket. But
fun fact for you.
yeah.
Doing super forums, and I heard Jackson talk about this a little bit on his show. I've competed against Jackson, and me and him were in the finals twice against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I did probably the best soft style forum you will ever see in your life. Yeah, it was called the Drunken Chunky Monkey, and
Yes.
I can tell you right now, if Jackson didn't get Bo for the final, I think
You would have had it.
I would have had it.
That's
I would
awesome.
have definitely had it.
All right. Well, I can't play it right now because, like I said, my YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
Is like
We're tight. Let's get it going.
There's something weird going on here. Let's move on to the next round. We got the Arkansas Open versus the Blitz Mayan Challenge, which I believe happened might have been last weekend or 2 weekends ago. So have you been to either of these tournaments?
What was the first one again?
The Arkansas Open.
The Arkansas Open. I haven't been in neither of these.
Okay.
The Blitz Mine Challenge just happened in Florida. It looked like a good tournament. A lot of things are going down in Florida right now. They're really busy. I can't tell. I think it's gonna. Have you been to either of these?
Nope, I have not. I have not been to either one. Again, I've only seen and heard things about
Yeah.
it. I've heard great things about the Arkansas Open. I feel like they push the envelope and they do innovative stuff there, and they get some good competitors. I believe that the Presleys go out there, and I believe Jackson might go out there.
The Arkansas Open is the one with Joey Perry.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I did see this one, the Arkansas Open. It did have a lot of competitive edge, support. I believe it looked well. I saw it on Facebook. I mean, I can't really say too much because it's all only what I've seen and what I've heard. But I know Perry. I know he can run an event, so I would automatically assume that his event is ran with a strict Pro Max schedule.
All right. Well, let's. I'm gonna give you guys a couple more seconds to let the votes come in. I do got to say with the Blitz Mine Challenge, I've heard great things about that event as well. And I believe that is run by Alex Ray's father. Alex was a guest on the show last week. So Alex is a huge fan of martial arts, and he's kind of like me. He's the point fighter version of me. And he talks about the sport and loves it and promotes it. And so I wish him the best of luck. But I am looking at these votes so far, and yeah. Let's move on to the next one. We got some bias. I know we got some biased competitive edge people that tune into this show, and if they're going to Arkansas Open, that's just how it goes. Next tournament we have lined up is the Kumite Classic versus the International Martial Arts Championship. Dalton, have you been to either of these?
I've been to the Kumite Classics for the past 4 years, I believe. I remember going to the Kumite Classics to work the event. It's been going through some stages. It was NBL, then now it's independent. But to be honest, I think for the Kumite Classics to be independent now, it was the best move they could have made because now they can do what they want, and they still have some rules that people might not be used to, but I think they've been going off the wall with their advertising. I guess you could say, like, they had a $10,000 Kumite point fighting prize, which was
Wow.
awesome. 5K for teams of juniors. I think they're really attracting a lot of people, local, national. This year I made it to the stage. I think it was, good night show. The night show has been known to run long. A couple years ago, I remember we were there till like 2 a.m. But I
Wow.
think, yeah, that's probably the only bad thing I can say about it is that the night show can run long. But this year it seemed to be fine. We got out really early. I think Bill is figuring it out. Bill Viola. I think it's a really good tournament for an independent. I think it can definitely contend against some of these national NASCA tournaments
Yeah.
as far as it goes. But I think it's a really good tournament.
Cool. I have not been to the Kumite Classics, and I've never heard of the International Martial Arts Championship. First of all, I'm just going to be pretty vain and superficial here and go off the names. Kumite Classic. If I was going to have a tournament, that would be what I would call my tournament. Actually, I would just call my tournament the Kumite and just have it blood sport style. I'd secretly invite people with notes, and you'd have to meet in a back alley and play like an arcade game before your guy picks you up and brings you downstairs, and then have all these rich people like throwing
Yeah, I
money,
know.
voting.
They're not getting creative with the invitations anymore. They just start throwing flyers everywhere.
Wouldn't
Come
that be
on, let's
great? Oh
get some
man,
pizzazz.
yeah. Wouldn't it
Like,
be awesome to have a ninja like show up at your school and be like, "Whoosh, you are invited," and then
yeah.
that'd be
Or
sweet.
like you get a sword in the mail, and on the sword is an engraving. You are invited to this tournament.
Yeah, come on, guys, step your game
Yeah,
up.
step your game up. Come on,
Now,
man.
I, I,
Serious.
I gotta throw a little shade to the International Martial Arts Championship based just solely off their name. It feels kind of like a threat to the International Tournament of Tournaments World Championship of Martial Arts. Sounds like they're trying to steal our name with their
Yeah.
international martial artsness. I don't know about that. I mean,
I mean, on an honest note, I think this tournament and a lot of tournaments do this nowadays. It is literally so vague. Seriously, like
yeah,
you have to be significant. And if you keep naming your tournament, a national martial arts tournament, international tournament of champions, I mean, there's a difference between, just saying, oh, the Toronto tournament of martial arts champions. All right, yeah, that's in Toronto. I know that's one's in Canada. I know, all right, I'll go there. But like, if you just keep naming your events something that would attract everyone, they're gonna think it's the same thing over and over again.
it's
Seriously, we had this problem before with like a national martial arts championship in the first episode. It's literally the same thing over and over again.
it's almost as if this tournament that we're hosting today is a parody and is making fun of those tournaments that have those generic names. It's almost like as if that was happening. Of course, it's
Yeah,
not, because our tournament is an
yeah, it
international
is.
tournament. It's
It's
our tournament's a
legit.
big deal. Yeah, ours
Yeah,
is legit.
seriously.
But yeah, I do find it absolutely hilarious every time there's a new international world championship of blah blah blah. It's like
Or another
every
U.S. Open. Like I can't tell you how many U.S. Opens you can find. USA Open,
yeah.
United States Open.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, different sports. Yeah, that's a little different. I think there's, as far as I know, there's only one U.S. Open of martial arts.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely. But
I agree. Come on, guys. Like, let's stop kidding
it's almost like
ourselves.
they're sponging off of
Just
like the
because
name.
just because you have like three people from out of the country come to your tournament does not give you the
It is
right.
not.
You're
Yeah.
not an
I
international tournament now. Like, pff,
I can't stand that. Or they call themselves like I'm a world champion because I went to this world class tournament. When you had like one Brazilian guy there, because
right?
like whoa,
Yeah,
like seriously, when you have people coming from across the globe, like South Africa, Venezuela, Cuba, Mexico, Canada, Ireland,
yeah.
Great Britain, then you can call yourself a world class tournament. Don't call yourself a world class tournament when you have like one out of the country competitor.
Right, right.
Like seriously.
So U.S. Open in that regard is a world tournament
Oh
because
yeah,
they do have world competition. I'd
the
say like
U.S. Open,
Irish Open. I would
the
say
Irish Open
is
is a world class tournament because a lot of Americans go there, a
yeah.
lot of Canadians go there, and even like the WKC Worlds, I could see them uh being. Oh, something happened to my Skype here.
You
I'm
still
sorry.
with us? You can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm
Okay,
just fix this real quick.
no worries. But
Bad. Keep going.
well, yeah. I mean, it's if you want to stand out, you got to have an interesting name. I know it's looking like some of these newer, like smaller tournaments. They're having some interesting names. Music City SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's a unique, cool name. It's like that really defines the tournament, and they don't have to be all braggadocious. That's my Trump word about how like we are the biggest, best tournament of tournaments.
Yeah.
It's not like that's going to attract more people. What's going to attract more people
Yeah.
to your tournament is that they're going to have a great experience, not that it's
Exactly.
super elite, mega, super. The only exception where all of those accolades matter, of course, is the International Tournament of Tournament World Championship of Martial Arts. Because
Obviously.
if you guys didn't know, that's a 50A Triple Crown Gold Platinum Elite Star internationally top-rated event. Kind of a big deal. All right, so the votes have been we've given plenty of time for the votes to come in for the Kumite Classic versus the International Martial Arts Championship. And I'm just going to do a little quick scroll here. You guys didn't vote, did you? Wait, you did vote. You did vote. Here's a couple of them. It looks like Kumite is going to take the win, which is no surprise. I don't think anyone else has heard of the International Martial Arts Championship, and I think if you went on Google and looked for it, you would show every tournament that happens would pop up. Because it is kind of a generic name. No offense, I'm sure the International Martial Arts Championship is quite great, and the tournament promoter is probably like throwing a brick at a screen, getting angry with us right now, because he puts a lot of hard work into promoting his event, and I'm sure it's a great event. It's just a not very memorable name, unless of course you win, and then you're an international champion. Okay, so anyhow, next up is the Irish Open. I'm not dissing anybody that competes. We're just commentating here. Irish Open versus the Ocean State Grand Nationals. This is the final tournament of the elimination rounds. Daulton, have you been to either of these?
I've been to the Ocean State Grand Nationals since I've started competing. It was my first national tournament. It hits right in the heart. But I can speak a little bit about both.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with Ocean State.
Yep.
Ocean State is a tournament any competitor, whether you're just starting out or you've been competing for decades, should go to. It is a wonderful tournament. It's in Rhode Island. Beautiful hotel, well run. It's 3 days, unlike the usual 2 days. So like you have a more open schedule. You have time to go do something. Mm-hmm. For example, like Friday you have some divisions, and Saturday they have all the black belts, and then Sunday they finish all the underbelt divisions. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty cool because it allows the underbelts to get their attention, because underbelts are a big part of the tournament scene that no one really seems to shed so much love on.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's important.
Yeah.
They just recently started doing underbelt grands on the stage Saturday, I believe, while the black belts are competing. It kind of intertwined them. Black belt competition is insane. It's definitely the Paul Mitchell tournament. A lot of the prizes come from Paul Mitchell. The Paul Mitchell girls are doing hair, but it don't make it seem like I said like only Paul Mitchell goes and only Paul Mitchell wins. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that Don Rodriguez, coach for Paul Mitchell, and Mrs. Rodriguez put on probably one of the best tournaments I've been to. It hits right in the heart. I think it's an awesome tournament. Now, as far as the Irish Open, I know that people travel to this tournament. It's not NASCAR rated. It's not this, but it is a great tournament.
It's not NASCAR rated? I think it is.
No.
Are you sure?
No, it's not. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
sure.
All right.
It's
I
not on
believe
the
you.
schedule.
All
But
right.
the Irish Open, it is a great tournament. They put the proceeds, I believe I read this somewhere, they put proceeds to a charitable cause, which I think is admirable. I know a lot of people go there to fight. That fighting in the Irish Open is a big thing. I'm not that much of a fighter, but from what I can tell, it's a really great fighting tournament. It's recently been growing as far as the forms and weapons divisions, with some podiums and making it a bigger scene, I think. And whoa, that is a big cat.
This is this is a small cat. This is the executive producer of the show. Sometimes he likes to stop by and just make sure things are running smooth. It's Castiel. Give me some loves to Castiel. What up, everybody? Cat, you gotta not be on the show right now, okay? All right.
But yeah, I mean, but I think it's going to be an intense matchup. It's going to be basically people who, love to travel to the Irish Open or go to the Ocean State. It's going to be a tough matchup.
So again, I haven't been to either of these. I've only heard and seen things. Ocean State is a big national or NASCA thing as part of the circuit. It's the thing you go to. Irish Open, for us Americans, it's always kind of a dream. It's like you want to go to compete at the Irish Open. It's the thing everybody wants to go see what that competition is all about. From my understanding, talking with competitors that have been there, talking with Nathan Salmon, who was a guest on the show who's from the UK. The Irish Open is one of the leaders of promoting forms in Europe. Forms is not such a big scene out there, and Irish Open tries to get the competition a little bit more interesting for competitors. Unity Games is another one that does a great job with forms. Otherwise, it's kind of they're way bigger with fighting out there. So, but it's up to you guys. What are you guys gonna vote for in the final round of eliminations? Irish Open, Ocean State Grand Nationals. Let's see. What do we got here? We got. So I see an Ocean.
I see Irish Open. I see some Ocean State.
There is a slight lead right now. I'm gonna have to give it.
It's.
Oh wow! Now I'm gonna.
Oh, and then we have one of the
promoters. The promoters of Ocean State has just joined in, ladies and gentlemen. But it's coming back and forth.
Ocean State or Irish Open.
Oh boy, this is the most heated battle so far.
I know it's back and forth. I want to see Mrs. Rodriguez voting. Come on,
Nikki, you can vote for Castiel, but that's not going to win the match. All right, we got. Irish.
Oh no!
I gotta do some. I gotta do some official calculating. Daulton, I want you to go through. Can you count up how many you see for?
I got this.
You count for Ocean State. I'll count for Irish Open. Okay.
Okay.
And if you guys vote more than once, there's no way I can tell if you did that or not. So I'm not gonna stop you if you comment more than once. All right. Here we go. I'm doing Irish Open. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Christine, what's going on right now is, for those of you tuning in, you are watching the International Tournament of Tournament World Championship of Martial Arts. This is a 50A Triple Crown Gold Platinum Elite Star internationally top-rated event. This is a real deal. You guys voted weeks ago, and you created a bracket system of which are the best tournaments in the world, and we are now having the tournaments go head-to-head against each other in one of the most important events in the history of martial arts. This is as real as it gets. And right now, we are in the final battle of eliminations. We have the Irish Open up against the Ocean State Grand Nationals for the final round of the eliminations.
I have 6 so far.
I have 9 for Irish Open.
Oof.
Is that going to be your final count? I think Alex Digman says this should not be even close. All right. Well, it's 9-6. That was a good battle.
Oh wait, 9-7.
9-7. Oh, the tournament promoter of Ocean State Grand Nationals in fact,
Who
voting
knew?
for themselves. But
Yeah.
that's not enough. That's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. I'm afraid that Ocean State gets left behind in the elimination rounds, and Irish Open moves on to the next round. Oh my gosh, this is big.
No.
We got tournament promoters jumping in now, voting to keep their tournaments alive. That's how big of a deal this tournament is. So I just want to, at this point, say rest in peace, Infinity Nationals. Rest in peace, New England Open, Canadian Open, Charlie Lee Nationals, Tiger Claw Elite Championships, Compete Nationals, the Rocky Mountain National Karate Championships, the Pan American Internationals, the Golden Gate Nationals, the USA Nationals, Music City Smackdown, Flame Martial Arts Tournament, the Zaozhen Shaolin Wushu Festival, Blitz Mayan Challenge, International Martial Arts Championship, and Ocean State Grand Nationals. You all be missed. But we must go on.
Man, I'm sad about that.
Yeah, you know what?
I really thought Ocean State. I wanted Ocean State to win, but I couldn't vote. I would have been voting like crazy.
You know what? It just depends on who tunes in. It's not up
Yep.
to us. It's up to the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack have to tune in, and they got to vote.
I appreciate you, Chrissy. Good job, trying to keep the hope alive.
Glad I know what this is about. Now I know what you guys are talking about. Yeah, you know what? You got to stay tuned because we're always all over the board here.
We're
All right.
always.
Well, we have a couple of minutes left of our hour show today, so I think it's time just to move right along. Let's keep going. We're gonna
Let's
go.
start the semifinals.
We're in the Sweet 16. Woo! Oh, this is crazy. There can only be one tournament, and by the way, in the next episode, we're not going to finish today, but in the next episode, we're going to reveal the prize.
Oh yeah,
Not tomorrow. We're not going to do this tomorrow, but the next time we do this tournament,
yeah.
we'll reveal the prize, and we got a cool prize in the works. So, first up, the first battle of the Sweet 16 is Myrtle Beach, a.k.a. Dixieland, versus the Grand Slam Open. Now, we've talked about these tournaments in the past, but we haven't talked about them today, so Daulton, as briefly as you can, give me a little highlight reel about Dixieland. I'll do a little bit about Grand Slam.
All right, Dixieland summer tournament, heat, the fun, the beach, great competition, great layout, great divisions. Dewey Earwood and Gentry Earwood run a great tournament. Underbelt appreciation, underbelt grands, definitely. A must go to as far as, your summer, you have nothing to do, let's go to some awesome competition.
All right, so Grand Slam Open happens springtime. So it happens in Virginia. Pros about the Grand Slam Open. It's run by Jeff Doss, who is a great competitor, and he absolutely loves the sport. Tons of passion behind what he does. He's also the president of NBL. So from an NBL perspective, if you're a competitor, it's also a very important tournament because you can get a lot of points for coming to this one. I don't exactly know how NBL works. I just know that Grand Slam has some cool things. If you win the Grand Championship at Grand Slam, you win a gumball machine. Pretty sweet. It's also by an amusement park down the road called I forget what it's called. King of Dominion. That's what it's called. Roller coasters and whatnot.
You win a teddy bear at Dixieland. Teddy bear,
I don't know what that is. Okay, so there's amusement parks on both ends, so they negate each other. But it's a Jeff Doss spectacular. He does a great job with his night show. He has cool TV screens all over stuff. Does a great job with the live stream. He's an innovator. He's pushing the sport forward. So I have a lot to say about Grand Slam Open. It's a place I've been to a lot. Daulton's been to Dixieland, but it's up to you guys. Weigh in. Go ahead. Vote. You got Dixieland, a.k.a. Myrtle Beach, or you got Grand Slam Open, the GSO. Make your vote and make it loud, make it count. We're moving on to the next round, and while we talk about the next round, we'll let those votes tally in for Grand Slam Open versus Myrtle Beach. Next up, we got American Internationals versus Quebec Open. What? This is a big one. This is a big battle right here. These two are top contenders to take the cake. Daulton, tell me a little bit about either of these.
Oh man, to be honest, let me just American Internationals. Definitely. Internationals, it lives up to its name. It's actually an international tournament. Fighters from across the world. Great forms divisions, great weapons divisions, run on time. Great officials. You got 2 stages run at all times. A very nice hotel, and it's in Philly, my hometown. You know, I love Philly. Well, not my hometown, but it's like my second home.
Sure.
And I would say just an overall tournament to go to. It's an awesome tournament.
I agree with you. American Internationals is a great event. This year it's going to be bigger and better than ever. They're going to be holding it at Temple Stadium or some
Temple's basketball arena.
Yeah, an arena. So the night show is going to be off the chain. That's awesome. It's one of the few big tournaments in the world where they broadcast it on television, local stations. So they have like Foxcom or some sort of Fox network affiliate or something or other. I'm not really.
I believe it's Comcast.
Comcast. I'm not really sure. Com. It's on TV. All right, I'm not giving.
It's on TV.
It's on the TV. It's on the TV. So the Lakers host that. They do a great job, and they keep pushing it. So they are a leader. Love that event. I go there. I've been there the past 2 years as part of the Hyper Games and doing that kind of thing.
Another plus about it.
Honestly, it's another big plus about it. It's the only tournament that hosts the weapons trick battles, which is like one of the highlights of the event on the night show. Watching everybody with the best weapons, go head to head with the craziest tricks they got. Really unique aspect to the tournament. Very cool. Quebec Open. It's a tournament I would love to visit someday.
It's definitely a tournament we all want to go to. I believe it has the best night show.
And that's why I want to go to it. It's because of the night show.
Yeah.
They've sold me because they do a great job with the media. They have amazing. They have the lights and they have the huge crowd. It looks like the biggest crowd.
Yeah.
And honestly, it looks like a bigger crowd than like U.S. Open. Like I'm not really sure, but the way they shoot it, it certainly seems to be a massive, spectacular of a night show.
Yeah.
But they do great. So up to you guys. Weigh your votes. American Internationals or Quebec Open. What's going down? I'll let you guys vote. While those votes are going in, we tallied up the results of Myrtle Beach versus Grand Slam Open, and it looks like the Grand Slam Open has moved on to the final, or what's the next round called? The Great Eight?
The Great Eight, yeah, sure.
1, 2,
That's
3.
what we can go to.
Yeah, the Great Eight, until I can think of a better name. So Grand Slam moves on. America versus Quebec is in a heated battle. And now we have the U.S. Open versus the Heroes de Querétaro. Whoo! We got the USA versus Mexico. We got a big, giant behemoth of a tournament on ESPN versus a NBL tournament in Mexico that has a lot of heart and soul. Daulton, why don't you talk a little bit about U.S. Open?
U.S. Open, definitely one of the best tournaments in the world. Really big, lots of rings, lots of breaking, lots of action. Divisions are jam-packed with the best talent you will ever see. People just come just to watch. I know that for a fact. And I think it's gonna take it down. The U.S. Open, it shows up every year. The finals broadcasted on ESPN. It's definitely a plus. You have the Night of Champions as well. You have a lot of appreciation for the single A black belt competitors. You have appreciation for the underbelt competitors, underbelt grands. There's none much you could really ask for from a tournament.
All right. Well, having said that, the last episode where we talked about this, there was a lot of heat and a lot of hate actually going on for U.S. Open. Some people called it the worst event on NASCA, poorly run, and I don't know. There's a lot of politics, and when a tournament gets that big, things can get ugly. So there is a little bit of there is some hate out there, and that could be the thing that takes down the U.S. Open and lets Heroes de Querétaro take the win. I'm going to talk about Heroes de Querétaro because I have been to that tournament. I've actually been to it more than I've been to U.S. Open. It happens every year in June in a town called Querétaro, and that is south of Mexico City. It's in the heart of Mexico. Fun fact about the city, it's the original capital of the state of Mexico, so there's a lot of history there. The tournament is run by Mario Del Campo, who has tons of heart and soul and does a great job promoting his event. He does a great job with the sponsorship. He's got Gatorade tents where you can pick up free drinks from Gatorade, which I think it's like an easy and cool sponsorship. I don't know why more tournaments don't do that. They also got a crazy night show. They're willing to go a little bit nuts with the night show. In previous years, they've had smoke machines, they've had fireworks, they've had a live band play. They give away cool trophies. Mario's father is a famous artist in that country, in Mexico, and so they have really cool like samurai helmets that they give away as for certain people and stuff, and they treat you really well there. So that's it. U.S. Open, Heroes de Querétaro. It's up to you. What do you guys got to vote for? Heroes de Querétaro already beat Compete Nationals, believe it or not. So don't just count U.S. Open for the win here. Heroes
we have a lot of votes already in for the U.S. Open.
That's true.
And then we have some votes obviously not for the U.S. Open.
So it's U.S. Open versus not U.S. Open, basically, or Heroes de Querétaro if you guys actually support that tournament, which I do. Anyhow, we'll let those votes count in. I'm not going to count the vote quite yet because we talked a lot about U.S. Open before I gave a chance to talk about Heroes de Querétaro, so people already started voting before we said our piece. But I need to go back now, and I haven't had a chance to count Amerikick versus Quebec Open, so let me do a quick calculation there. By the way, this is called the Elite 8 now. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mike Bates and Richard Osborne, for doing that, for letting me know what the 8 was called. I totally forgot what it was called. I'm going to call it the Great 8 anyhow. All right, so Amerikick. All right, Amerikick wins. Amerikick beats out Quebec Open. Ooh, dang. All right, that was a good battle. So keep those votes coming in for U.S. Open versus Heroes de Querétaro. I'm going to adjust the bracket right here live on the show. Where's my Amerikick Internationals? There it is, moving up on the bracket chain. Bam. Okay. Amerikick International makes it. Let's do one more for today. One more battle to end the show. We're going to do Capital Classics versus the Battle of Atlanta. Oh, snap. Ooh. These battles are getting serious. Oh, boy.
Damn.
Daulton, talk to me.
I've been to both of these for a while.
Yeah. There can only be one.
There can only be one. All right, let me rattle off something quick. Let me try to keep it short. Capital Classics. Dennis Brown was an awesome tournament. He also, the tournament's also part of the China Open, so, a lot of wushu competitors come in from across the world. Underbelt grands, always a plus, got to shed love to those underbelt competitors. You have black belt divisions fighting, an awesome night show, always shows love to the servicemen. Overall, awesome tournament. It's just as good as Dennis Brown dresses, I'm telling you. Yeah. Battle of Atlanta, same. The Ruths run it, and they run it good. They have a separate ballroom just for the underbelts. They have underbelt grands, and the best part is they put the underbelt grands as part of the black belt night show. They don't do their own night show for the underbelts. Mm-hmm. Those underbelts are seen. I think that's where PJ Clark got his big, his big boom moment. That kid kills it. What else can I say about Battle of Atlanta?
It's the third time PJ Clark has been mentioned on this show, so keep an eye out for PJ Clark.
Yeah. They have that garden. I don't know what it's called. It's like a garden. I don't know. It's basically just a room with a big skylight where they used to have all the hyper camps. Remember that? You've been there.
Yeah.
Remember? I think that's pretty cool.
I don't know.
Wide open. The hotel people can see it. You know what I'm talking about. Don't lie to me.
In the hotel itself, just the atrium, the indoor.
That atrium, yeah. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
But anyway, back on track.
Atrium.
Yeah. Great night show. A lot of great, lighting effects and stuff. Good demos. Hall of Fame competitors, and I think both of them are a go-to or must. So I don't know what else I can say because I'm kind of biased towards both of them. So I'm going to be hurt whoever wins.
Oh boy, well I don't want to hurt you, but reality is rough, man. There can only be one. Capital Classics, Battle of Atlanta, 2 tournaments I've been to myself. I'm going to rattle off a couple things. Capital Classics, yes, they got a cool venue. They're at the National Harbor, I think it's called. It's like basically across the river from Washington, D.C., so it's a cool little area. Lots of restaurants and just it's just meant for touristy kind of people to hang out and stuff, so that's cool. It's Ferris wheel. It's not bad. Weather's pretty decent. Tournament itself, it seems to run okay. It seems to run pretty good. Dennis Brown, he's a staple of NASCA. So yeah, Capital Classics. That's all I got to say about that. Battle of Atlanta. A lot of people love Battle of Atlanta, especially in the Wolfpack. Battle of Atlanta, they try to do some interesting things once in a while. A couple years ago, they had this crazy, unique night show with Carmichael Simon, and it was I don't remember what it was.
They also had a Legends battle where they took a bunch of the people and they made them go off against each other. People like Jarrett Liker was there, Jeff Doss was there. He did the People's Elbow in this film. I love that.
Yeah,
so
they're willing to try some new things and experiment. Put on a show. So I appreciate that. Also, another plus with both of these tournaments actually is that the tournament is in the hotel. So you just roll out of bed, you go down the elevator, and boom, you're there. So that's always nice. But I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to vote. And let's see, Battle of Atlanta or Capital Classics.
We seem to be bouncing back and forth here.
But we got to go back to the U.S. Open versus Heroes de Querétaro.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a quick calculation, and it looks like that the U.S. Open makes it to another round with, I have to say, the most hate. U.S. Open certainly has the most hate out of any tournament that we've talked about so far. Everybody's talking about how it's poorly run. It talks about how a lot of waiting around. So I don't know if they're gonna. They might be the biggest tournament, but I don't know if they're gonna make it to the finals. So we'll see.
Definitely an odd matchup, but who knows? Maybe they'll get some love. Yeah. I don't know.
But there was quite a number of votes for Heroes de Querétaro. I think some of the votes, honestly, were just to spite U.S. Open.
Definitely.
But also, once I started talking about it and talking about tournament fireworks and stuff, I saw.
It does sound like a fun tournament.
It's a poquito loco. Oile. So that's it. We're gonna wrap up the show today. Before we tune out, let's just do a quick vote for Battle of Atlanta, Capital Classics. Daulton, go ahead and count Capital Classics votes. I'll count the Battle of Atlanta votes, and let's see what we got. If you guys want to vote multiple times, I won't stop you. Wow, this is so many votes. You guys were voting a ton of times for this one. A lot of passion here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I saw a comment that says Capital and Battle. That's confusing me.
Just vote. That counts. I just count it.
All right, I got 9. We got more now. We got more.
You guys are crazy. All right. No more voting. I'm losing count.
Yeah, just stop.
You guys are very passionate about your
Stop
votes.
voting! Oh my God!
Daulton,
stop.
What do you have last time you counted?
13.
All right, I counted 16 for Battle. You counted 13 for Capital. Is that correct?
I'm not counting any more votes.
But you counted Capital Classics at 13.
Yeah, before a big.
Before everybody went nuts.
Yeah.
You just want to. Sifu wants a recount. All right. Sorry. There's no recounts. This is not the presidential election. There's no electoral college. It is what it is. at the end of the day, Live with Wolfman is just a dictatorship. So I get the final word here, and I have declared, based off of the Wolfpack, very scientific vote here, that Battle of Atlanta is gonna move on. Capital Classic is in the dust. Let's move it. Let's do it. All right, so here we are, man. We have moved a long ways through this tournament of tournaments, through these International Tournament of Tournaments World Championship of Martial Arts, a 58 Triple Crown Gold Platinum Elite Star internationally top-rated event, sponsored by Live with Wolfman and Daulton. So thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. Good stuff today. A lot of fun. As you can see, I got some updates. I got some cool things going on with the show. You guys have been working to support it, so I want to work to make the show better. Daulton, I want to thank you for being a guest back on my show. And
no problem.
We're gonna have to finish this tournament up.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe next week or something. We got a whole lineup already filled for this week of awesome guests. I'm going to talk about those in just a second so you guys know what you're in for. But before I do, I want to share with you some pretty cool news. Where's my screen? Okay, so I have some upgrades to the show. First off, I got a little bit better lighting. I got a little bit better camera angle. I got a microphone. So I'm pretty stoked about leveling up the show a little bit. I got even more improvements on the way. And the next big improvement is that all of the past episodes of Live with Wolfman will be, by the end of this day at least, they will be available on YouTube. So you'll be able to go to YouTube and check out all the previous episodes, which is awesome. I'll be making a post later today on my personal profile asking if anybody wants a link to that channel. And I'll send you a link. And you can subscribe. Sound good? Now I got another update coming up for you in the future. I'm going to experiment. This show is all about experimentation and leveling up inch by inch. I'm going to try, and Daulton says this is a bad idea, but I am going to try to live stream this show simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So now it doesn't matter if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to tune in. So we'll see where that goes. It's got some potential. We want this show to grow, and it really depends on you guys helping me out, hitting that share button, giving those floating thumbs ups, leaving comments. You know how it goes. I want to thank you again for watching the show. And to give you a little heads up of what's happening this week, we got Alan Belcher, UFC fighter, businessman, jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. I think he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, but he's an MMA fighter, so he knows everything. I got Emily Cooper lined up. I got Daulton's boss. Yeah, we got Daulton's worried now. He's like, oh no. So we're gonna get the real lowdown and scoop about Daulton. Emily Cooper is the founder of SportMartialArts.com. So we're gonna have plenty to talk about. I also have let me check my calendar. We have McGuire Kane coming up. He is the creator of Adrenaline, for those of you in the tricking world. He's also making a scene in the sport martial arts forms weapons world. So I'm excited to have McGuire. We'll talk about tricking. And then on Friday, I have Martial Club joining me, Andy Lee. Andy Lee is the original winner of Red Bull Kicking It. He recently taught Jackie Chan choreography. He's an amazing martial arts tricker, kung fu guy. We featured him on the show last week, so trying to get him on here and talk shop, talk about tricking, talk about all the cool things that you guys love. That's a really exciting guest. So that's it. That's what's going on for Live with Wolfman. Thank you again for tuning in. Awesome show. Had a great time, and I will check you guys on the next one. Peace.